Hi, welcome to Mind, Body, Spirit Synchrony, where we'll explore ways to help improve your physical, psychological, and spiritual well-being. It's all about balance. Today, we're going to get into the psychology of people who need constant noise to focus. Some people need total silence to concentrate, but for others, silence is the real distraction. If you're someone who works better with background noise, whether it's music, a busy cafe, or even a TV playing in the background, you're not alone. Psychology suggests that people who thrive in noisy environments often share certain personality traits and cognitive patterns. It turns out that needing constant noise to focus isn't just a random preference. It can reveal a lot about how your brain works. Here are 10 traits commonly found in people who concentrate best with sound around them. Their brains crave stimulation. Some people struggle to focus unless there's some kind of noise in the background. But why? It often comes down to the brain's need for stimulation. For certain individuals, silence isn't calming, it's distracting. Their minds start to wander, seeking input to keep them engaged. This is especially common in people with high energy levels or fast-paced thinking styles. The famous psychologist William James once said, "The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another." For those who need noise to focus, external sound helps them steer their thoughts in the right direction rather than letting their minds drift aimlessly. Whether it's music, a bustling cafe, or white noise, having background sound can provide just the right level of stimulation to keep their brains on track. They focus better in chaotic environments. I used to think something was wrong with me because I couldn't concentrate in complete silence. Some folks prefer the busy coffee shop to study, surrounded by the hum of conversation and the clatter of cups. It turns out some people actually focus better in chaotic environments. The background noise acts as a kind of mental anchor, helping them tune out distractions and dive deeper into their work. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who pioneered the concept of flow, once said, "The best moments in our lives are not the passive, receptive, relaxing times. The best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile." For those who thrive in noisy spaces, that hum of activity isn't a distraction. It's what helps them get into that deep, productive state of flow. Silence makes them anxious. For some, silence is unsettling. When everything is too quiet, their mind fills the space with overthinking, self-doubt, and 1,000 unfinished thoughts competing for attention. Background noise tends to drown out the mental clutter and provide something steady to focus on. For some people, silence isn't peaceful, it's overwhelming. Instead of promoting calm, it creates a vacuum where anxious thoughts spiral. That's why they turn to music, podcasts, or even the hum of a busy cafe to regulate their focus and emotions. Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own soul." Maybe that's part of it. Maybe noise is more than just a tool for focus. It's a shield against the thoughts we don't want to sit with. They thrive under pressure. Many do their best work when there's a sense of urgency. Tight deadlines, fast-moving environments, a little bit of chaos in the background. Strangely enough, noise can provide that same feeling for some folks. It adds just enough pressure to keep oneself engaged. Psychology suggests that some people focus better when their brains are slightly overstimulated. The Yerkes-Dodson law explains that performance improves with arousal, but only to a certain point. For those who need noise to focus, silence might leave them too understimulated, making it harder to concentrate. As Sigmund Freud once said, "One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful." Maybe that's why some of us crave a bit of chaos. We don't just survive under pressure, we come alive in it. They are actually more sensitive to sound. It might sound strange, but many people who need constant noise to focus aren't ignoring sound. They're actually more sensitive to it. Complete silence makes every little noise stand out. Footsteps in the hallway, a ticking clock, even their own breathing. Instead of helping them concentrate, the quiet makes them hyper-aware of every tiny sound. This is why controlled background noise, like music or a fan, can be a lifesaver. I can recall a girlfriend never sleeping without a fan whirring. It creates a steady audio environment, blocking out sudden distractions and allowing the brain to settle into deep focus. In a way, people who rely on noise have found a clever mental hack, using their environment to help their brains work better rather than fighting against it. They have racing minds. For some people, thoughts don't come one at a time. They come all at once, overlapping and competing for attention. A constant stream of background noise can act like a filter, giving the brain something steady to latch onto so it doesn't get lost in its own whirlwind. Psychologists often link this trait to overthinkers, creative types, and even those with ADHD. When the mind moves fast, silence can feel like an open invitation for thoughts to spiral. But with music, white noise, or a bustling environment, it's easier to stay grounded and focused. William James, often called the father of American psychology, once wrote, "The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another." For people with racing minds, noise isn't a distraction. It's a tool that helps them choose where to direct their focus. They are easily bored. For some, boredom comes easy. There is a need to have something grab their attention right away, or their mind starts wandering, looking for anything else to latch onto. TikTok, what a lifesaver, right? That's why some work best with music or background noise. It keeps part of their brain engaged so they don't drift off. I can relate to this. Most days I have music playing low in the background. Psychologists suggest that people who need constant noise often have a lower tolerance for monotony. Their brains crave stimulation, and silence can feel empty rather than peaceful. Having background sound creates just enough engagement to keep them focused on the task at hand. For those who get bored easily, noise helps keep thoughts moving, ideas flowing, and focus locked in place. They use noise to escape their own thoughts. Sometimes silence is unbearable, not because it's peaceful, but because it forces you to sit alone with your thoughts. And for people who tend to overthink, dwell on the past, or wrestle with anxiety, that can be exhausting. For some, when everything is quiet, their mind can fill the space with worries, regrets, and scenarios that may never happen. They can paint a canvas of possibilities they have no control over and generate a multitude of anxieties for things that may well never occur. For them, keeping background noise, music, a podcast, even just the hum of a fan, gives something external to focus on to avoid the labyrinth of mind thought and getting lost in their own head. Sometimes thinking is more than just difficult. It's overwhelming. Noise isn't just about focus for some. It's a way to create distance from the thoughts we're not ready to face. They are actually better at filtering out distractions. It might seem like people who need constant noise to focus are more easily distracted, but in reality, they're often better at tuning things out. Their brains have adapted to working in chaotic environments, learning to filter out unimportant sounds while staying locked in on what matters. This is known as selective attention, a concept studied by psychologist Donald Broadbent. His research showed that our brains are constantly sorting through information, deciding what to focus on and what to ignore. For those who thrive with background noise, their minds have become highly skilled at managing distractions rather than being overwhelmed by them. As psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi put it, control of consciousness determines the quality of life. And for some people, a little noise isn't a disruption, it's what helps them take control of their focus. They are more creative. It has happened that on occasion my best ideas don't come in silence. They come when there's music playing, people talking in the background, or even when I'm half listening to a podcast. Somehow, noise seems to spark new thoughts instead of shutting them down. Research backs this up. Moderate background noise has been shown to enhance creative thinking by making the brain work just a little harder to process information. This slight mental challenge can lead to more abstract thinking and innovative ideas. For those who thrive in noisy environments, sound isn't a distraction. It's fuel for their most creative moments. It's all part of understanding our real nature and the nature of the people around us. For ourselves, we better understand some of the science of our own processes. For those around us, we can empathize and allow them the space they need, and we can adapt. It all connects our mind, body, and spirit. A good functioning mind can establish a foundation for balanced living. Well, that's what it is for now. MBSS would like to thank Marcus Hale for his contributions to this presentation. We hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you did, please help us out by giving a like and add us as a subscription. Keep in mind, life keeps coming at us. The dirt roads are rough, but the scenery is great. There's something good in it all. Enjoy the ride.